3 years later. Chapter 5. Anna was having the most wonderful dream. She was sitting in the middle of a huge field of the brightest green grass. The sky above her was a picture-perfect blue, and the air was warm, a slight breeze bringing with it the smell of freshly baked pastries from the nearby picnic baskets. Hearing a familiar laugh, Anna turned to her right and smiled at her mother and father, who were talking in hushed, happy whispers. Turning to her left, she saw Elsa lying on the ground, blowing on a dandelion. The small, puffy white tufts blew slowly into the air, making it look as if it were snowing in the middle of summer. Knock, knock. Lying in her bed, Anna groaned and squeezed her eyes shut, unwilling to let go of the dream. Knock, knock. There was another knock, and this time Anna heard Kai call out, "Princess Anna!" The voice sounded distant through the thick door. "Sorry to wake you, ma'am, but—" "No, you didn't," Anna called back. "I've been up for hours." As soon as the words left her mouth, her eyes drooped closed and she began to drift off. She felt the warmth of the sun and saw her sister and was about to pick another dandelion when— knock, knock. Anna sat up, startled, the last of her dream fading away. In its place was the reality that her parents were still gone and her sister still wanted nothing to do with her. For the first few months after the king and queen had been lost at sea, Anna had hoped that her sister would reach out to her, offer her comfort during such a terrible time. At least once a day, Anna would go to Elsa's door and knock tentatively, hoping for a reply. But Anna only found silence. After a while, Anna stopped trying as often. Instead of once a day, she would knock once a week, and sometimes not even then. The months dragged into a year, and then another year, Anna growing older and lonelier. At least when her parents had been alive, they had gone beyond the castle gates and brought news back. Even though Anna never left, she hadn't felt so completely shut in. But since they had died, the gates hadn't been open. It had been years and years since she had seen the kingdom in anything other than the maps and books that lined the library walls. At times, she felt like she was stuck inside a very fancy prison with really good food and lots of reading material. Sighing, she rubbed her eyes groggily and tugged at her messy hair. She didn't need to look in a mirror to know she had a serious case of bedhead. "Time to get ready," Kai called out. "Ready for what?" Anna said, her thoughts still caught someplace between her dream and her musings. "Your sister's coronation, ma'am," Kai clarified. Anna's eyes flew open. Elsa had recently turned 21, and after years of hiding away, it was time for her coronation. Today! Anna slapped her forehead. "How could I have forgotten?" she thought as she leaped out of bed and ran over to the wardrobe. Her coronation dress sat waiting for her on a dummy, the brilliant green gown bright and spotless, which was not something that could be said for most of Anna's clothing. "I'm just, effervescent," she told Gerda whenever the maid good-naturedly grumbled at another stain created by one of Anna's more enthusiastic moments. "It's hard to keep all of this bubbliness inside," Anna would tease. Then she would give the little maid a kiss on the top of her head and bounce off, forgiven as she always was. "You are going to be careful with this dress, Your Highness, aren't you?" With her fingers still clutching the soft, rich fabric, Anna looked back over her shoulder. While she had been ogling her gown, Gerda had slipped into the room. She was now making her way toward Anna, stopping every few feet or so to pick up a stray hair ribbon or lone shoe. "Oh, Gerda, of course I'm going to be careful," Anna said. As she spoke, she whipped around and a button on the dress snagged her dressing gown. Anna gasped and froze. "A little help?" Still sighing patiently, Gerda gently untangled Anna from the dress. When the two were at safe distance, Gerda looked up at Anna and raised an eyebrow. Starting right now, I'm going to be careful. Just you wait and see. When I get back from the ball today, there won't be a spot on it." Anna smiled sheepishly when Gerda looked at her in disbelief. "Well, a girl can try, right?" Gerda nodded. "I know you always try your best, Your Highness, but we really should get you ready. We don't want to be wasting this day, after all." As she spoke, she gingerly took the dress from the dummy. "Oh, Gerda, can you believe it?" Anna asked, clasping her hand to her chest and twirling about. Her dressing gown flared out around her, nearly knocking over a hamper. "I thought this day would never come. It's been forever. Well, almost forever. I didn't think Elsa would ever go forward with the coronation. And then, bam! She asked the bishop to show her the ritual, and she gets you to send out the royal invitations, and here we are. I swear that was the most Elsa has talked to anyone since. Her voice trailed off. Since your dear mother and father passed, Gerda finished for Anna. She reached up and gave the princess a gentle squeeze on the shoulder. They would be proud of you girls today. Very proud. Especially your mother. She smiled, her words easing the darkness that had started to creep in on Anna's mood. Anna smiled. Today is all about new adventures, Gerda. I am going to be able to go outside, beyond the gates. For the next 24 hours, the gates will be open, and I'll be able to do whatever I want. She paused, suddenly overwhelmed by the concept. What am I going to do first? Gerda shrugged as she helped Anna into the dress. You can do what you want, princess, she said, guiding Anna's legs through the hoop skirt. Then she straightened the bodice. You used to love going to the docks when you were young. You always wanted to be the first one to greet the sailors when they arrived in port. Maybe you could go there? Oh, yes, I do remember that, Anna said happily. I want to do that. I want to go to the candy shop where you always took Elsa and me when mother and father were away. I love the yummy, ooh. She let out a groan as Gerda tightened her corset. Struggling for air, Anna waited while her rib cage adjusted to its sudden confinement. When she was sure she could breathe again, she narrowed her eyes at Gerda. A little warning next time, she teased. The maid pretended to look contrite, but Anna saw a small smirk tugging at the corner of her mouth. I'm just trying to make you as beautiful as possible, princess. After all, you aren't just going to be seeing new things outside the gates. You're going to be seeing new people. New single people who have never seen you before. You're 18 now. You want to make a good impression. The royal maid wagged her eyebrows teasingly. Anna blushed. She hadn't even thought of that possibility, but now that Gerda mentioned it, Anna smiled. Maybe it would be just like in the story she made about the paintings. Anna, for once fetching and put together in her beautiful gown, leaning up against the wall. She would be sophisticated and graceful, calm and collected. And then, across the room, she would see a handsome stranger, who would be tall, with a quick smile and kind eyes. She would walk over to the stranger and introduce herself, and within moments, they would be laughing, sharing stories, and talking about their future. It would be as though they had known each other forever. The pain and loneliness Anna had felt since her parents' death would fade away, and soon Anna wouldn't be able to remember a time when her life wasn't full of love. Shaking her head, Anna brought herself crashing back to reality. That's crazy, she said to Gerda. I only have 24 hours. There's absolutely no way I'm going to fall in love. You never know unless you take the chance, Gerda said. There are many kinds of love out there. You loved your parents. You love your sister. All I'm saying is that you never know where or when love will find you. You only can know that it is there, waiting. It will find you one way or another. She paused as though she wanted to say more, but then she shook her head. But what if I don't meet anyone? Anna asked, suddenly worried. Living isn't just about loving someone. Living is enjoying what you have as you have it. You still love your parents, do you not? Gerda asked. Anna nodded. But their loss hasn't made you stop living, has it? The royal maid prodded. It's made Elsa stop living, Anna said, somewhat sadly. It's made Elsa stop living, Anna said, somewhat sadly, and loving. At least she stopped loving me. Your sister handles her grief differently, princess. It doesn't mean she doesn't love you. Gerda gently turned Anna so that she was facing the full-length mirror. Now go ahead and look at yourself. As Anna stared at her reflection, her eyes filled with happy tears. She was a young lady, and for the first time in forever, she actually did feel beautiful and special. The gown fit her perfectly. Gerda had done her hair in a simple updo, and she had only the barest touches of makeup. Still, she had to admit, she looked regal. Oh, Gerda, thank you, Anna gushed, throwing her arms around the woman. Then she straightened up and brushed her hands over the skirt of her dress nervously. Well, guess it's now or never. Real world, here I come. Taking a step forward, she yelped as the toe of her new shoe caught in the dress. Windmilling her arms, she regained her balance and looked sheepishly over her shoulder at Gerda, who was watching in amusement. Okay, let's try this again. Taking a deep breath, she opened the door and carefully looked out into the hall. The clock was ticking. She didn't have a moment to lose. Bursting into the hallway, Anna practically collided with a servant rushing past. In his arms was a pile of clean white linens. Another person flew by, holding a pair of matching silver candlesticks. Anna let out a laugh. The castle was alive. It was the most amazing thing to see. Unable to stop herself, she began to skip down the hallway. On either side of the long hall, the curtains had been drawn back and the windows thrown open. Outside, puffy white clouds dotted the blue sky. Anna could hear the sounds of people rushing over the cobblestone courtyard. A horse let out a loud whinny, and Anna could have sworn it sounded like the animal was cheering. Reaching the end of the hall, Anna turned left and then right again. Every hall she turned down was full of people in it, and every door she passed was open. I didn't think we had this many rooms, Anna thought as she passed by another grand chamber. Inside, she could make out a maid humming to herself as she dusted a long-neglected piano. Anna laughed. This was all so incredible. It was as though people in rooms had just miraculously appeared. If only every day could be like this one, Anna thought as she ran down the stairs of the grand entrance. At the bottom, she grabbed the railing, narrowly avoiding slamming into a man precariously bouncing at least 20 dinner plates. And behind that man were dozens more. Who knew he had like 8,000 dinner plates? Anna thought. Who knew we had 8,000 people? Who knew we knew 8,000 people? Most days, the only two people Anna saw were Gerda and Kai. But today, every room seemed to be filled with people hard at work. Anna stopped short, a sudden horrible thought coming to her. What if she had to remember the names of all those people? She was horrible at remembering anything. People's names, countries, historical facts, the name of her favorite flower. No, Anna told herself. There's no way I will need to remember all those names. That's Elsa's job. One perk of being the younger sister is I just get to meet them and have fun. I can have my cake and eat it too. Before she knew it, Anna was at the castle's main doors. Eagerly, she pushed them open. In front of her, the gates were open, revealing the courtyard beyond. Anna put a hand to her heart. Beyond those doors lies my future, she whispered. So what am I waiting for? Breaking into a run, Anna burst into the sunshine, ready for her adventure to begin.